promo code BILL to get a free title history report, plus a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. On this Friday, more evil envelops the United States. On the eve of 9/11's anniversary, political commentator Charlie Kirk was assassinated, as you know, in Utah. Evil is a contagion, and it is spreading now because resistance to it is slipping. That's one of the themes of my book, Confronting Evil. Americans can no longer turn away from misguided politicians and media that enable violent behavior. Charlotte, Chicago, Los Angeles, Mexico, Venezuela, Putin, Iran, endless list. We must all confront evil by taking the actions available to us. Turn off the progressive media. Vote against pro-criminal politicians.
All right. Good morning, everybody. There is a press conference in Orem, Utah. We're going to go to that right now.
We will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah. But I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilize these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions. And we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last two nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country. And he said, I'm not optimistic. He said, I hate optimism. God, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor, can you speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that.
Governor, how do you interpret the engravings on case of
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not. And by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating about this level of hatred that this person expressed. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him to prompt him to commit such a horrific?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that you've been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
How he came into custody of police and where he is right now?
Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody, that his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah.
All right, that was the news conference with Governor Spencer Cox in Utah, and we heard briefly from FBI Director Kash Patel and a local sheriff. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to analyze what we've heard in the last 30 minutes or so and get Larry Connor's comments on it as well. All coming up. Stay with us on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
This is so stupid.
St. Louis's.
Okay, I'm hanging up on you now.
Place to talk. News Talk STL.
Jeffco Patriot Radio.
Hey guys, Jefferson County Councilman Billy Crow here from Jeffco Patriot Radio. On behalf of Tim Jones and I just want to thank you for making Jeffco Patriot Radio the number one listened to show on Sundays here on News Talk STL, where we dive into all the things happening in and around Jefferson County. Check Tim Jones and I out on Jeffco Patriot Radio this and every Sunday at high noon here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL.
Jeffco Patriot Radio.
Basement with a Y. That's Basement E.
It's Basement T.
Basement E?
It's Basement T.
Oh, Basement T. Basement T. I get it. That's the basement waterproofing and foundation repair experts at Woods Basement Systems.
Right. The all things Basement T experts at Woods Basement Systems will provide you a free estimate and dry out that wet basement and fix that cracked foundation. Call 800-388-9326 or go online to woodsbasementsystems.com.
That's woodsbasementsystems.com.
Join us for the annual St. Louis County Lincoln Reagan Day Dinner on Saturday, September 27th at the River City Casino Hotel Ballroom. Hear from top Missouri state and federal officials, plus special guest federal IRS agent Joseph Ziegler, who played a key role in the Hunter Biden investigation. Enjoy dinner, networking, and a silent auction. For tickets, call Renee Artman at 314-398-6667 or email reneeartman1530@gmail.com.
Before I met these lawyers, I was kind of spinning my wheels. After I met these lawyers, they gave me a sense of worth, self-worth. When someone's fighting for you, it just makes you feel like you're not alone no more. My lawyer gave me my life back.
Visit MissouriLawyersHelp.org to learn more. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Brought to you by the Missouri Bar.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint, formulated to outsmart the elements. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, mold or mildew. Our home exterior coatings intelligently designed to stand up to Mother Nature. Call 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Live and local.
Welcome home. And whoosh, sitting in traffic, stuck in a jam, and being entertained by Vic and Thunder Stealing Ken.
This is News Talk STL.
All right, we've heard a press conference with Utah Governor Spencer Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and a local Utah sheriff. I don't know his name. I apologize for that. Larry Connors is here. Nobody better to talk to about all of this. Larry, you listened to it. As I listened to it, what was your big takeaway from it?
Well, we didn't get a whole lot of facts out of it, and the fact that they had him in custody. I think the most interesting point that I'd like to be drilled down on, and that he talked to his father, a friend, and maybe a minister, and they convinced him. They recognized it was him, and they got him to, make himself available and not put up any additional resistance or anything. And there was a phrase dropped at some point that he'd become radicalized over last years, but it's not clear in what way. Nobody's talking about a manifesto of any type, nothing written down. Of course, they're just beginning the deep dive on all of his social media.
It's a great point, Larry. The kid's name is Tyler Robinson, 22 years old. The video that we saw last night showed him walking in a neighborhood with clearly the gun down one of the legs of his pants, which was why he was limping, right? So he managed to get up on that roof with the gun in his pants and then get down with the gun because they found it in a wooded area.
Right.
So,
we get back to, and keep in mind, Charlie Kirk, while a great and internationally known figure, is not a president of state or anything of that nature.
Right.
So there is no security level that such as Trump should have had at Butler, Pennsylvania. So no one can be on the roof 150 yards away without being spotted.
All right.
There was no oversight. I mean, you got Charlie Kirk's a group of his personal protection, but they're basically at the front line, keeping people from advancing the stage. You had the sheriffs and police department involved in just handling the crowd control and that stuff. But again, no oversight position to watch for anything that might be suspect. And that's got to become a standard procedure, especially for an event where you have thousands gathered. You never know when something like this breaks. Does not have to be a divisive political figure.
Right.
And Charlie Kirk, it really wasn't divisive except to the view and the minds of those who considered him that way. He never spoke anything about hate and revenge or anything of that nature.
In the minds of people who would radicalize
it was the minds of those that put it there. They created it. He never said it.
So, I really like that Governor Spencer Cox. He has said many times that we'll get this guy. We will hold him accountable. And today he said we will charge him and hold him accountable. Cash Patel didn't say much really, except how great the FBI is.
No, and I was not sure if that was his by choice or quite honestly. And what I'm going to say, folks may take the wrong way, but my view if I've got the FBI director there, I want him taking the questions. So the governor, I think
that's a great point.
I'm getting ready to say it. I can't take it back once it comes out. I think he's playing too much politics and pandering and putting himself at the front. I don't mean that as a disrespect for him. I'm just saying that is not the way that should have gone down. And just the same that if you're going to have an event like this, and if you are going to take questions, you either need a microphone out there or you need to repeat the question for people who can't hear it because it's shouted from across the room.
Yeah.
I mean, those are just standard procedures. But Cash Patel, standing to my left, I'm going to bring him up for the additional questions or anything else.
Or even some of the original statements.
The original statement. I mean, we did hear from Cash, limited. And I understand there's limited information that can be given. But that's the natural source.
But I think, some of the things that were written on the casings, shells, was a Cash Patel thing. I think he should have told us that.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's I'm struggling with the way mechanics of it and what it should have done, but it should not detract from the fact that they have a man in custody
Right.
and everything is pointing to it. And apparently, maybe they have not said he's got to give them a confession. There will be, of course, legal challenges to every part of it going forward. But I think we have two roads we can go down here. And we're going to have people that are going to go out and rally the nation in support and love for Charlie. Even if they did not like everything he said, they abhor this kind of violence. And then we have others that are already and did yesterday, and they did within hours, within minutes of his death announced, go to social media and chastise, criticize, demonize. There was a staff member of a congressional delegate, a congressman that had been posting things and basically suggesting that Charlie got what he deserved. He did not get what he deserved. I mean,
the people that hate Charlie Kirk don't really know what they're talking about, okay? Because, and can I get back to what was etched on the casing
yes,
shells?
sir. Yes, sir.
One of them was, "Hey, fascist," right? Because that's the big thing. If I don't like you, if our political leanings don't mix, then you're the fascist and I'm the righteous one if you're a liberal, right?
Right.
And I'm sorry, this may be petty to some people. How dare he use Bella Ciao on those casings? Because Bella Ciao is an 80-year-old song that the partisans fighting fascism of Mussolini in Italy would sing.
Yes.
The last line of it is, if I die, I die with liberty. I mean, it's what we are, and they call Trump a fascist, and they call Alcatraz alligator Auschwitz, and I'm like, I'm sorry, can you show me where the gas chambers are at the alligator Alcatraz?
There's never any comparison. And if you're
They're stupid, Larry.
And if you're going to ask questions like that should be rationally answered, they don't have a rational answer because there's no logic behind it. And that is what Charlie was doing. He was the table set up that day had labels all around it. Prove me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted people. You want to come up and challenge something, you get to the front of the line. We let you
Love
speak
that.
first.
I love that he did
the
that.
attitude that I'm willing to engage with you. We're not going to fight. We're verbally challenging each other. Can you not take that?
And many kids who were against him before the conversation started, he convinced them that what's kind of right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And violence is always wrong. And it always seems like the violence comes from the left. Or am I just biased?
No. And to that extent, that was mentioned in the news conference, and I noted as well, we didn't have riots in the streets. We didn't have cities being burned.
What did we have, Larry?
We had peace.
Vigils.
We had vigils. You're right. We had candlelight vigils and prayer. And if, God forbid, because I would not want to wish it on anyone, but if an Al Sharpton or somebody had done something like that, there would be chaos in the nation. Why? Because they would use it as an excuse. And many of them were thugs. They're just looking for a reason to carry it out anyway. That doesn't mean all the people that would support Sharpton would be out there doing that. But it's a different attitude. It should be a lesson of what we need to do.
Yeah.
I've got a commentary if I could very quickly.
Yes.
Running today. Basically, I go back to World War I, 1914, Christmas Eve. And this is trench warfare then. They have some artillery, but very limited. It's basically hand to hand. You'd run from your trench, trying to get in the other trench and retreat. Christmas Eve, one of the sides between the British and German soldiers starts singing Silent Night, Holy Night. The other side begins to echo it. And then some gather in the no man's land between the trenches, exchanging maybe a ration kit, maybe just a greeting and a hug.
Playing a little soccer.
Yes.
They kick the soccer ball around a little bit,
Just
didn't they?
basically. And
Yeah.
then they go back to their side.
Yeah.
They recognize that other person is a man also. Right. He also has a family. He doesn't want to be here any more than I do.
Right.
And then they go back to their sides, and that ceasefire basically lasted through Christmas Day, and then it was back to killing and slaughtering.
Yeah. Yeah. And what a wonderful.
Can we not find that in our political divide?
Of course.
To come together?
Exactly, Larry. Exactly. Boy, great point. Maybe you should do commentaries throughout the day.
I've been honored by the station to do that 3 times a day, and I appreciate it every day.
12:03 and 3:30 coming up later on
Thank you very
today. 6 to 8 tonight. Larry Connors, USA.
God bless you guys and continue to bless and watch over Charlie's wife and children.
Absolutely. Boy, when she got off that plane yesterday, she was just a shell of a person.
And understandable.
You know, and J.D. Vance's wife was helping her down. I mean, there's really a solidarity here between everybody in the administration, don't you think?
Yes, and I think it should be in the nation.
Yeah.
This can be a rally call to bring us together. Opposing sides we have in the past. We have not been down this road since the American Revolution, actually.
I don't know if it's irony or what it is, but Charlie Kirk started Turning Point USA, and his assassination has been a turning point for this country.
I think so.
Because
hopefully the right road.
Exactly. And if we don't keep our eye on it, it could go the wrong way.
Absolutely.
And it could turn into another revolution.
And we do not want those on the right that think they are in the right to carry out a vengeance for them. We don't want that either.
Absolutely not.
Law and order.
Larry, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sticking with us for a while. Larry Connors, USA tonight. Oh, and by the way, the other night, 6 to 8 at night, the live show was just fabulous.
Well, I was honored we were able to do it. We had multiple people contributing, as you well know. Mike Ferguson in the morning, he stayed over to add to it. Had Jamie Allman. We had James Herson. We had Dr. Tobler.
It was great.
And Dr. Tobler got into the point that I wanted to say, but I wanted it really come from a medical aspect first, is that with all due respect in watching the video, there was no doubt in my mind that was unsurvivable. If it had an emergency team on spot, they could not have saved his life.
Yeah, I heard Dr.
And he probably passed before they even got there. But
it was a great show, Larry.
Well, thank you again.
Proud to work with you, my friend.
I'm honored to be part of the team.
All right, let's take a break, and then we'll come back. Ashton, can you get rid of that? Can you play a little bit of the Bella Ciao for me? Because I just want people to hear it and understand. How dare this kid use this song of the partisans against Mussolini for his rallying cry to write on bullets that he killed Charlie Kirk with. I'll translate the song for you one day. Una mattina mi sono alzato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invasor, un partigiano, portami via, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Tim is in D.C., so my guest co-host will be my friend, Jim Talent, and his special guest will be his wife, Brenda Talent, of the Show Me Institute.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps, weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Hey, Mike Ferguson here, and for nearly 40 years, Nutrition Stop has been St. Peter's trusted source for natural living. They've got a great, knowledgeable staff offering more than just products. They provide guidance on your wellness journey with exceptional service, from 100% grass-fed meats like elk and bison and local produce to quality supplements and clean household products. 4101 Mexico Road in St. Peter's, just off the interstate at Cave Springs and Highway 70.
Hey, Tony Colombo here with Tim Jones for our friends Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway, the #1 home selling team in the St. Louis area. And I can say that from firsthand experience. My wife and I were blown away from the results that we saw from working with Rodney and Jen, from selling our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible to finding our family's perfect new home. They over-delivered every step of the way. And right now, it's still very much a seller's market. So, Tim, for folks that have been thinking about selling their home, it's a perfect time to call the Wallners.
That's right, Tony. And don't forget, they're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois. So no matter where you are in the metro area, you can put St. Louis's #1 home selling team to work for you. The Wallners experience and work ethic, second to none. And of course, the numbers speak for themselves. The Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. Right now, they're working with so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD for the Wallner home selling team.
Simply Health with Dr. Brian Deloney.
Are you stuck on the blood sugar roller coaster? Afternoon crashes, cravings, stubborn belly fat? I'm Dr. Brian Deloney, and this week on Simply Health, now available without a prescription, we're exposing how blood sugar impacts your weight, energy, and hormones, even if you don't have diabetes. So don't miss it.
Simply Health, Saturdays at noon on News Talk STL. To find out more about Simply Health Integrated Medical, log on to simplyhealthintegrated.com.
.1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home, everybody. Thanks for being with us. You know, some of the things that we heard in that press conference that we didn't get a chance to talk to with Larry took 33 hours from the time he shot Charlie Kirk to apprehending him, and he is now in the Utah County Jail. His mugshot has been released. He looks like a little douchebag. And, you know, some of the things that have nothing to do with the investigation, but, you know, Kash Patel saying to Charlie, rest now, brother. We have your watch. See you in Valhalla. And, you know, it's incredible how well-liked Charlie Kirk is. I was going to say was, but is. Governor of Utah, I really like that guy, Spencer Cox. I really do. He said he is as angry and sad that he's ever been. And I get that. And by the way, no, Jessica is not over this yet. She was still really pissed off last night. Governor Cox said, young people love Charlie. And young people hated Charlie. And it's the kids who hate Charlie. Talk about being radicalized. I mean, stuff that they hear on Reddit or hear, you know, people talk about what Charlie Kirk is without ever hearing him. If you've heard him talk to students that hate him, you'll understand, but they don't even bother to go listen, you know. And oh, but I hate him. Oh, he's a fascist. That's what the cool kids say. The cool kids say that Charlie Kirk was a fascist. And it's just not true. Charlie also always said, once you stop talking, that's when we get violence. And that's why the talk has to continue. And Ben Shapiro is going to continue and take the torch from Charlie Kirk and continue on college campuses and speaking to kids, especially kids who disagree with his thoughts and beliefs. And I think that'll be great as long as he slows down and, you know, gives us a chance to hear him, because he talks really fast, Ben Shapiro. So, I mean, that press conference, I would have loved to have heard more from Kash Patel from a law enforcement point of view. Because it looked, if you didn't know, you would think that the law enforcement guy was the governor, right? We got him. He says, first thing he says, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. And then he started talking about the 33 hours that it took and the video of him jumping down off the building, off the roof where he shot Charlie. And, you know, in the age of technology that we're in right now, nothing you do will be secret. I mean, there's security cameras everywhere you go. So somebody's going to see you. There was a Ring camera video of him walking through this neighborhood, and he knew that neighborhood obviously very well. He said, well, he's walking with a limp, and he wasn't walking with a limp like he was injured. He had the gun down one of the legs of his pants, and that made him walk kind of straight-legged with that leg. And he managed to get up on that roof with the gun and then get off the roof and jump down, still with the gun, because they found the gun in a wooded area not far from the campus, but not right there, or not where he shot Charlie from, the roof of that house. And he wasn't injured because after he did jump down off the roof, he started to run. And he didn't run like he had any kind of injury. He was just, hiding the gun. Mugshots out. Anywhere you look today, you'll see his mugshot. His father, what kind of thoughts were going through the father's head? Okay, I know my son did this. Morally, you have to turn him in, but God, he's my son, right? I mean, what kind of thoughts were going through his head? And he actually did make sure he turned him in, and the kid looks normal in the pictures with his family. And guess what? His father looks like he's conservative. Got a shirt with a American flag on the sleeve. The hat he's got on looks like there's stars and stuff on it. And what happens? See, this is when kids read these things and believe these things. This is what happens. Somebody ends up dead. And in this case, it was Charlie Kirk. And it's just not good. So, I'm sorry, just one more little piece I want to say about the etchings on the casings, shell casings. Hey, fascist, or catch fascist, or something with the word fascist in it. And by the way, these kids use the word fascist and they don't even know the definition of the word fascist, so shut up. And I don't know why I'm so angry and upset about the Bella Ciao thing, because Bella Ciao was sung by good people, partisans to Mussolini. If you remember, Mussolini was terrible. That's who they compare Trump to, right? And compared Charlie Kirk to. And how dare he use that song? The last, the one verse, I don't know if I said this to you off the air or on the air, Ashlyn, but the verse that says, partigiano portami via, that means when a partigiano is coming my way, che mi sento di morire, that means I'm afraid I'm going to die. And then the end of the song is, because during the song, if I die a partisan, bury me on a mountain under the shade of a beautiful flower. And the last verse is, queste fiore, that means this flower, de partigiano, of a partisan, morto per la libertà, that means I die with liberty. And how dare you, you little bitch. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you up on everything. And as news breaks, we'll let you know. 33 hours, I think that's pretty good. And they did have him last night, by the way. They just announced all this morning. So his father made the right decision. There's just something that in this country, we are not on the offensive enough. And I mean that verbally. I don't mean that with weapons or anything like that. We need to, and I'll say it again. The other night when Larry was on, when you listen to Larry, right before that first commercial break, he always says, lock and load, ready on the right. And he had to say, I don't mean, that's not a call to action, because the left will say, oh, look, Larry says lock and load. They're going to come at us with guns. No, just the opposite, okay? Just be aware, know what's going on, and keep Larry Connor's USA on every night from 6 to 8 o'clock in the evening. I think I had another point there that just flew right away. Little thoughts just come and they go. Susie Moore up next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
You and I might have something in common, back pain. I can tell you where I go for help, Esquire Sports Medicine, the spine of St. Louis. They can put athletes back on the field so they can clearly help us. Esquire Sports Medicine, hands-on chiropractic help on Big Bend, just north of Highway 40, 314-644-0885, EsquireSportsMedicine.com, EsquireSportsMedicine.com.
Hey, DIY warriors, ready to transform your outdoor space? Start with Lee May Concrete Block, St. Louis's trusted family-owned manufacturer since 1947. Whether you're building a retaining wall, creating a backyard fireplace, or pouring concrete, Lee May's got you covered. From compact blocks to large cast concrete, they provide materials and professional guidance to bring your vision to life. Military and first responders get special discounts. Visit Lee May Block Showroom or LeeMayBlock.com. Lee May Block, building your dream one block at a time.
Jamie Allman here, tossing and turning over retirement worries. You're not alone. 3 out of 4 Americans share your concern about having enough saved. But here's the thing. A comfortable retirement isn't out of reach, even if you're planning for 30 or 40 years ahead. Every day, Jeff Portman from the Gemini Wealth Group helps people avoid the critical mistakes that can derail their retirement. Build your path to financial confidence. Visit GeminiWealthGroup.com or call Jeff directly at 314-888-0123.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Hey, News Talk STL listeners, this is Levi with Reach Reproductive Health. So first, I want to say thank you for standing in the gap for life, because truly it's because of people like you that many babies who otherwise would have been aborted are living today. I'm grateful to be fighting this cause with you. I'd like to invite you out to Reach's inaugural annual gala. It's our stakeholders launch. We're having it November the 6th at 6 p.m. at the Commons in Chesterfield. Space really is limited, so I want you to RSVP right now. Go grab your spot at outreachforlife.org. That's outreachforlife.org.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Investigators say they have their man. Utah Governor Spencer Cox announcing the arrest of a 22-year-old Utah man. He allegedly fired the shots that killed Charlie Kirk.
We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Cox says it was a political assassination. FBI Director Kash Patel says a quick arrest proves something.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed.
The source says the suspect's father saw surveillance photos and, working with a pastor, encouraged the suspect's surrender. Earlier, Vice President Vance accompanied Charlie Kirk's casket to his home state of Arizona aboard Air Force Two.
The vice president honored his close friend and political ally with a final flight aboard his military aircraft. Vance and his wife flew with Kirk's widow, Erica, from Salt Lake City to Phoenix. Earlier, the vice president helped carry Kirk's casket with a group of uniformed service members as it was loaded onto the plane.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston, Governor Cox says it's believed Robinson acted alone. He calls the assassination an attack on the American experiment, and he pleads with a new generation, choose a different path. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show here. Everything's getting more expensive these days, groceries to gas, healthcare. If you're feeling that squeeze, you're not alone. Listen, your biggest asset might just be the answer, your home. That's why I strongly recommend my good friends at Fellowship Home Loans. Mike and Brian and the team have helped so many families, especially in times like these, tap into their home's equity to keep their head above water, whether it's covering rising medical costs, helping out a loved one, or just breathing room in your monthly budget. They can help. You see, you're not giving up. You're just getting smart, because at the end of the day, it's about protecting your family and your future. Make sure you ask how you can skip 2 mortgage payments when you refinance. 2. Going into the fall and the holidays, that could really be helpful, right? Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. It's Fellowship Home Loans. Fellowship Home Loans. Mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
There is no doubt about it. Summer has returned. We're going to feel it this afternoon and this weekend, too. Mostly sunny today, a high of 93, just a light breeze out of the south and southeast. Warm 80s for high school football games tonight, and then down to 70 for the low. The heat really peaks this weekend. 96 Saturday, mostly sunny and dry. Then 95 and partly cloudy Sunday, with just a slight chance of a pop-up shower in the afternoon and evening. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of our 3-hour tour, ready to roll. Thank you for your patience, because we had to hear that press conference. Larry sat in here and watched the whole thing with us, and being very patient, it ran right through his segment with us. So we gave him a segment at the end, and he's always worth it, of course. And you know who else is always worth it? Smoozy Q.
Oh, Susie Q, baby, I love you. Susie Q.
I'm the boss. How about that?
All right, and I should have mentioned, I meant to mention that Kathy Kaiser's here. We'll do What Are You Watching coming up at 10:25 with our very special guest, Kathy Connor. And hold on, Susie. Can you take this? And that's Kathy's number. We'll need to call her during What Are You Watching? Hi, Susie. How are you?
I'm good, Vic. I'm good. I'm hanging in there. How are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I know my wife's not good at all. She's still mad today. But you were on the air when everything broke this morning with us that they got the guy.
Yeah.
And that was just the announcement of getting him, apparently, because they got him late last night.
Yeah, it sounds like it did happen overnight. But then I guess President Trump had just gotten the news of it just before he went on with Fox and Friends. So he shared the news there.
33 hours after he pulled the trigger, he's in custody. His father had a lot to do with him being apprehended. His father turned him in. Have you seen the picture of him with his father? It looks like a diner.
No, I've only seen what looks to be a mugshot.
He and his father are at this diner together, and the father looks pretty conservative. Looks like one of us. I think he is. He was a cop for a long time. So I don't know what went wrong. It's the radicalization of these kids, Susie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hate to be simplistic about it, but there's so much of what we're seeing today that can, in fairness, be laid at the feet of social media. It's plays such a huge role in the conveying of ideas and information, and it has such a great positive effect too. But it's the same for negative ideas.
And when kids get, I don't know, social media will, when it all comes, if this country fails and collapses, social media should be at the forefront of why it did, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can overlook the role that it plays, and it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, sure is. So you wrote an article, very quick one on the Morning Minute, and more. Not I want to say more important than the article, but your headline is great. Morning Minute, you failed, you coward, and that's exactly what he is. He's a coward and tried to get away, couldn't get away. The hell with him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just was echoing. I've seen a number of sentiments, memes, and such shared kind of along those lines over the past 2 days. And I just kind of wanted to bounce off of that. The reason being, I was somebody who was getting involved in politics. I've always been involved in politics, but really getting involved during the Tea Party days, and was inspired by Andrew Breitbart. And many of my peers could say the same thing. Many of us can kind of trace our media lineage back to Andrew Breitbart, and his death was, really rocked us. but it also inspired many people to kind of take up the torch and become more active, become more outspoken, to share their voices. And so that's why you have such a strong media, new media world, if you will. And I think in many ways we're going to see the same with Charlie Kirk, particularly given the amount of influence that he had on young people. And so if this guy thought that by killing Charlie, he was going to silence him or his, ideas, well, he was sadly mistaken.
Yep. Enough is enough. One of the trending hashtags the other day, enough is enough. And a lot of people, no, okay, I shouldn't have said that. I have heard Charlie compared to Andrew Breitbart in these last 48 hours. And Andrew Breitbart, he, so I don't know if you know or if you don't know, but in 2010, I spent a year in Bloomington, Normal, Illinois, at a conservative station up there. It was the loneliest year of my life. But,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, because I just drive up on Sunday nights and drive home on Friday. Anyway.
Yeah.
But there was an event that was happening in Bloomington or maybe it might have been in Chicago, with Glenn Beck, and these people were protesting Glenn Beck. He spreads hate, and Andrew was there with a microphone, and he said, "Can you give me an example of him spreading hate?" And silence. So it's just like calling Charlie Kirk a fascist, and the things they say that he hates people and he spreads hate. Well, has any of these kids said what hate he has spread?
Some of them have examples, and some of them are, quotes maybe taken out of context, or even things that you could argue, okay, I could understand why you find that offensive and why you don't like that. But here's the bottom line. I don't care if he was the most offensive person on the planet, which he wasn't, but I don't care if he was. Doesn't justify his being murdered. Right. So the people that keep using that as but this guy was a really bad guy. It's like, okay, so what's your point? Are you saying that he deserved to die then? Are you saying that it's okay? Because that's the ultimate logical conclusion of why they're saying that.
Right. And, talk about being taken out of context. The quote that they keep using that, I wish I knew it. Hold on. You know what I'm talking about? When he said that there's the deaths are acceptable for the Second
Amendment argument.
But you're right. But before he said that, in that quote, he said, "This many people, a ton of people get killed in car accidents. You take a risk no matter what you do."
Right. Yeah, he used a much broader example, and if you looked at what he said there in all context, I mean, people that are opposed to guns are still going to find offense in that, no matter how much context you give them for it. But his broader point wasn't just this sort of cold, callous, like, oh well. It was, okay, here are the realities, and here are how we balance these things in our constitutional republic. So it was a logical reasoned response, whether you agree with it or not. You're seeing a lot of that. You're seeing a lot of the, sort of, and that's, I'm taking it right back to social media. So people take, one little line or one little video clip, and they use that to make their point, and they don't realize that there's they don't care that there's a bigger point to it.
I just, his little girls won't know him, and they'll only know of him, hear stories about him. And I don't know. I mean, 31 years old, that's awfully young. And his wife got off the plane yesterday, off of Air Force 2, by the way. And she just looks like a shell of a woman. I mean, I was just I hurt so bad for her.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, I certainly have been very close to people who have suffered a sort of sudden and heart-rending tragedy, but never somebody who's done, under these circumstances. So not only do you have his sudden death, but you have this added element to it because it was the result of violence. And there's this huge political whirlwind that surrounds it, but there wouldn't be, for instance, if he'd just been killed in a car accident. And either way, the grief isn't going to get any better for her. But I feel like this environment just has to make it all the more painful.
That's a great point. That's a great point. I mean, he could have died in a car accident. She still would have been without him. The girls would have been without a father, but nobody killed him. And that the fact that somebody did, I think, is just terrible.
It's awful.
Last thing, and then we'll move on to another story that you wrote that I just love. And I've been belaboring this for the last hour. How dare that kid use Bella Ciao on those shell casings? How dare he?
Well, I'm still I'm still learning about this, but my understanding is that that is a very popular phrase amongst the anti-capitalist set.
Let me tell you exactly what it is, okay? So ignore anything anybody's told you about it. Bella Ciao is an 80-year-old song that the partisans of Mussolini used to sing, okay? And it's all about liberty and freedom. And if they die, at least they die with liberty. And it was against the fascists. See, that's the thing I don't get, because he put Bella Ciao in there because he thinks Charlie Kirk is a fascist, and he's not. So again, I ask, how dare he put that on a bullet casing? Or punk.
Well, yeah. And I think it's fair to ask that, and I think it's fair to question, well, you know, what all the rationale was, but I understand why you oppose it.
I know all the words to that in Italian, by the way. I just want to say that.
That's very impressive.
Thank you. So I love the story, and I want you to explain how 9/11 was the day I became a mother. The first line of the story: my daughter wasn't born until March of 2002, but I became a mother on September 11th, 2001. The spotlight's on you. Go ahead.
Okay. So when September 11th happened, I was 7 or 8 weeks pregnant. We had just found out a week or two before that I was pregnant. And of course, that morning is seared in all of our memories, just watching everything unfold. And, you know, I still went into work that morning, kind of numb, but just, you know, like, what else do you do? We were eventually sent home because they closed down our building because we were right next to the arch. And there were concerns at that point of any of the kind of high profile buildings that they could be targets. So I got home, and on the answering machine, remember those? There was a message from my doctor's office saying that I needed to go pick up a prescription from the pharmacy because my levels, one of my hormone levels were low, and I was maybe, at risk of miscarrying. The problem, or the issue, I guess, for me at the time was my then husband, who was an aircraft mechanic, was actually out of town when this happened and was stuck in Dallas, and actually wasn't able to come home for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Wow.
And so I was by myself and newly pregnant, and worrying about the health of the baby, and realizing in that moment, with everything going on in the world, that I was going to be bringing a life into the world, and it was my responsibility to keep that life precious and safe. And so in my mind, that was when it really hit home to me that I was a mom. And even though my daughter wasn't born until several months after that, she will always be, in my mind, inextricably intertwined with the emotions of that day, because nothing really, I guess, hits you harder as a parent than, worrying about the safety and well-being of your child.
You know what? That's an awesome story. That really is. And when Chris was born, I don't know why I didn't think of this until he was born, but I looked at him, this little bundle of life, and me, the great big screw up, was responsible for this kid's life. I mean, you don't think, hey, we're having a baby. Oh, congratulations.
It's very humbling.
Right? And then you realize, oh my God, I'm responsible for this kid's life. And he's still alive. So I guess we did it okay.
You did well. I do want to mention one other thing. What sparked that in me yesterday, because I've written about 9/11 a lot, but I hadn't really written that part of it before.
Yeah.
President Trump was giving remarks at the Pentagon, and during those remarks, which were very moving, he referenced a number of the people who were killed on 9/11, including Renee May, who was on one of the planes, and she was 7 weeks pregnant.
Oh, God.
And so when he told that story, it immediately struck me, and I'm thinking, okay, her child would have been the same exact age as my daughter.
Oh my
and
God.
This is here.
Wow.
So that's why it really, really struck home yesterday.
Yeah. It's a great story. I loved it. It was really, really good. And
thank you.
I know being a mom is tough, and
it is.
Delivering a baby must hurt.
Doesn't feel great.
Yeah. So God bless you. And her birthday's not March 8th, is it?
It's March 15th.
So close.
Oh
my God. So
I
close.
know.
Yeah. Well,
I know.
I'll yell at her for that next time I see her.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So can you tell me, I don't know if you're allowed to tell me some of the behind the curtain inside baseball stuff, the meetings that you guys had when Charlie was shot. What happened during those meetings?
So I can tell you a little bit. What I will tell you is, we're all virtual. We are all working online from our respective locations. Now, our parent site, if you will, Town Hall Media, they're all in an office together in DC, but the rest of us are all out here in the hinterlands working online. So our meetings take place via, Google Chat or whatever.
Zoom,
we're
Teams,
online.
Right.
Yeah. So I can say this, and you probably are aware of this. Charlie was part of the Salem family. Salem is our parent.
That's right. Yeah.
Salem Media Group. So he was. I didn't know him personally, but very many people close to me knew him very well. So immediately, I would say within 15, maybe 12 minutes of the shooting, we were in communication with our peers at Town Hall and coordinating. At that point, there was just rumors, information that there had been a shooting. They thought maybe he'd been shot. They were still trying to collect information. So the whole next few hours was this sort of back and forth of communication of, hold on this information. We're trying to verify it. Okay, we verified it. It's okay to move forward with it. And one of the things that we were trying very hard to do, which is, it's hard with any fast-moving story. It's even harder when it's somebody that you either know or can very much relate to. I think many of us, and I'm sure you guys, I think everybody at the radio station probably feels this too. It's like, well, wait a second. I'm a voice on the right. I'm kind of a public figure. I'm not as high profile as Charlie Kirk was, but I've gone and delivered speeches at events before. Am I going to be a target?
Mm-hmm.
Are any of us targets? So that's running through your mind. What are the repercussions going to be? All of that's running through your mind, and you're trying to kind of keep yourself centered, gather the information, get the people writing it to, get it to the people that are writing it and making sure that they're getting it accurate. And you want to get it out there quickly, but you want to be accurate too. You don't want to get out over skis. So it's this very delicate balancing act. There's lots of communication back and forth. It's written communication largely because you're typing online. But the gist of it is that it's very hectic. It's what you would imagine, like think back into the 70s, like a crazy newsroom when a breaking story hits, imagine that like from a movie scene or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very much like that. It's just in the virtual realm.
Yeah, it's that's great insight. I appreciate that. And as far as here goes, our lobby door is always locked now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know. You don't know what kind of nut.
You don't know. Yeah. I mean, we had the same thing at the law firm. Like there were times when we had to keep the doors locked because somebody had an axe to grind and had, voiced a threat, or there was reason to believe there might be a threat there. I mean, it wasn't all the time, but there were definitely times when we had to be cognizant of our safety.
It's crazy, right? I mean, it's just crazy.
It is.
All right. So anything else you want to say about Charlie before we wrap this up, Miss Moore?
I will just say that I have seen a number of people that I don't consider political people commenting on his death, and largely in a positive way. There's been some negative, but largely positive. And to me, as heartbreaking as what happened is, that's encouraging because it means people are, they're paying attention and they're recognizing the import of, how important it is for us to be able to have conversations and not resort to violence. And the vast majority of people, at least people that I know, subscribe to that idea and ideal. So I think we should take some encouragement from that.
That's great. Susie Moore, Red State Radio, Sunday, 4:00. Great show. I whenever I'm in the car, I'm tuned in, Susie. I love it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. You happen to be the deputy managing editor of redstate.com, aren't you?
True.
See how I slid that
It's
in there? All right. And Smoozy Q on X. Thanks, Susie. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Vic. You too.
All right. I'll tell you what. I keep saying it, and I know it sounds stupid, and it's not going to change anything, but I can't believe Charlie Kirk is dead. I just can't believe it. I can't believe he's not here anymore. Fighting the good fight, doing the good things. Anyway, we'll lighten it up a little bit. What are you watching with our great friend Kathy Kaiser and a special guest? What are you watching? Watcher, I think was how you mentioned that. 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
'cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it
The
out.
latest news.
The conservative political activist Charlie Kirk has died.
Happens right here.
The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement. Partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
You know, just last night I was chatting with our friend Chris Cooper, who also is in a state of what in the hell is going on in this country. And we all have to remember to believe, because it's fact, that Charlie Kirk is dead and he's no longer with us. And it affected him pretty much like it affected my wife. Maybe not, because it really, really affected my wife. Anyway, getting back to Chris. Great guy, fun guy, welcoming guy. When you go up and talk to him, you definitely feel at home. You feel like you're just talking to a friend, not being lectured to about your finances and what are you doing and why haven't you done this. You're not going to get that with Chris, right? You're just going to find the facts, and you're going to find out who you should leave your money to and who you shouldn't leave your money to. And we go through that every day. I want you to get the serenity that you deserve. When you retire, the lifestyle that you want and deserve is right there on the table. Chris will help you get through all that. He's got a new book. It's called The New Holistic Retirement, and you can get it for free at serenitynowtax.com. Don't miss his show Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, called Serenity Wealth Now. We hear there's some fun with finance involved in that show, and it's all right here at News Talk STL. Serenity Now with Chris Cooper.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
Serenity now! JC's Wayback Machine.
It's great stuff in the 90s, 80s, and 70s. Our A-list interview of the week is with Lou Gramm of Foreigner. He talks about songs by his own band he didn't like.
I didn't like it. I really didn't even want to sing it.
And I'm going to play you a Meatloaf song with Cher. And it's good. Plus, Desperate Housewife Terry Hatcher talks about her nipples. All brought to you by the Weber Automotive Group.
It's JC's Wayback Machine. Every Saturday night, 6 to 9. On News Talk STL.
When precision matters, trust the experts who live and breathe firearms. Full Circle Reloading and Firearms. Veteran owned and operated by competitive shooters who know what it takes to win. From reloading supplies and accessories to custom rifles and cutting-edge night vision, we've got everything you need. Plus, get precision rifle training from the pros. Full Circle Reloading and Firearms. 923 South 5th Street in St. Charles, or visit FullCircleReloading.com.
I am an atheist. I really am a liberal, but I'm also a conservative.
No matter your side.
I'm a Democrat. I'm just a bit angry, frustrated conservative.
No matter your inclination.
I'm probably a liberal, maybe more in the middle.
We're here for your place to talk about it.
I'm the progressive liberal Democrat that you said is afraid to call you.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
I'm sure we'll have a robust conversation.
News Talk STL. News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion.
New York City people are not socialists.
At this particular moment, we're going to keep those conversations moving forward.
You're not going to a general election, it's different.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Hi, welcome home to 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. I'm Vic Porcelli. That is Ashlyn, who has done a fabulous job filling in for Ken Williams. I don't know if you caught it. It made Ken Williams cry yesterday with Kayleigh McEnany's comment about Charlie Kirk. And a special guest joining us for What Are You Watching? Kathy Connor. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
Excellent, thank you.
And I mean that in the how you doing? No, I'm kidding. So, so we're going to talk. Kathy Kaiser's going to tell us about some movies. She is a professional movie reviewer. We're just amateurs, you and me, Kathy. We just do it for fun. She does it for a living. But what are you watching?
Well, as you and I have talked about before, we just got finished watching Mobland.
Ooh.
So not a movie, but not the movie, the series.
Yeah, yeah, right. And you love it? Do you love it?
I do love it. I mean, there's things about it that bother me, of course, because I pick everything apart.
What don't you like?
Well, so I don't want to give away any spoilers, though, either.
Okay.
But in general, you know, I think people that have been in crime families, you know, doing this and being married to people, they seem a little out of touch with the way it all works.
Yeah.
Harry's wife,
Oh yeah. Yeah. So she's a good actress. Don't like the character.
Yes.
Love the actress. Hate the character. Right.
I totally agree. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Now, this is pretty interesting because, as you know, Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren play a husband and wife, head of a gangster family. And there's a movie called Thursday Night Murder Club with Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren. Kathy, how is that movie? Not you, Kathy. This Kathy. I got two K's and two C's.
Kathy's going on here.
You're the C's and she's the K's. So what about this Thursday Night Murder Club?
Well, it's on Netflix, right?
I'm in.
You're in, so you can watch it when we get done later today. Yeah. Here's what I'm going to tell you, and what I shared with everybody on Fox 2 yesterday. You can't have Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan as a couple of people who kill people and then put them together in another movie at the same, point that you're watching all of this together as really sweet, nice people who are going to, have a murder story type situation going on, cold case stuff they're working on. And then there's a real murder that they get stuck in the middle of. But it was really hard for me to see them as these killers on Mobland and then turn around and, okay, but we're really meek and mild and we live in a retirement home.
I hope I like it because I like the murderous.
You're gonna love it. It's enjoyable. I'm just saying that you love them so much as
bad people.
Yeah. Right?
Kathy Connor, does that interest you? Thursday Night Murder Club?
Oh, yeah. So I have not heard of it, but I will say I love Helen Mirren as an actress. I think she's amazing.
She's fantastic no matter what she does.
1923, the Yellowstone 1923. She was
Yes.
awesome. A couple other people in this movie, though. Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley.
Yes.
Holy cow. And Jonathan Pryce.
Yes.
I love Jonathan Pryce. Do you know why? My first exposure to Jonathan Pryce was him playing Fagin in the musical Oliver in the West End. Because
nice.
we have the soundtrack to that at home. I've never seen it. I'd love to see Jonathan Pryce be Fagin, but God, it's just the singer, just unbelievable.
Well, just a little background. The Thursday Murder Club is a novel series, in British, British author. So they put together all these incredible British actors to put together this Netflix movie.
Yeah.
So, no, you want to watch it, Kathy. It's really good, with the exception of now that you've been, you've been engrossed in Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan being those terrible people that they are, that we end up loving because it is so good, right? I really would love to hear your feedback once you get a chance to watch it on Netflix. And
I'm glad that you're prepping me about the differences in their personalities of their characters. So that's good to know going in, I think.
They ain't no Harrigans, I don't think.
No, not at all. And you're going to love Pierce Brosnan's son in the Netflix film too. Yeah, he has a son that you're going to enjoy.
You can't
go wrong, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to throw in another thing for Jonathan Pryce. Okay, I really like him. So how many popcorns does this movie get?
Oh, that one got 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 popcorns. This is a good one. Kathy's going to want to watch it this weekend on Netflix.
So I'm going to say Kathy Connor, and you're just Kathy. Okay, so when I talk to Kathy Kaiser, I'm just going to say Kathy, and Kathy Connor, I'm just going to say Kathy Connor. I didn't think about this before I set this up.
I love it. Don't you love it, Kathy? I mean,
it's great.
I don't know how old you are, but I'm just going to state that when I was growing up and someone said the name Kathy, now I'm Kathleen. Are you Kathy or Kathleen or Catherine?
I'm a Catherine.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
And I'm a Kathleen, right? But when I was growing up, if someone said Kathy, at least 15 people went, what?
Yeah.
What's happening? Right.
And I'd like to say that
I think we had at least 4 in my grade school class. Yeah.
I was always the only Vic in the room.
Nice.
Still am
he still is. Look at him go.
All right, Kathy Connor, let's hear some more from Kathy on a couple of other movies she's seen. The Conjuring, true story?
Last rites, yes. The Warrens or real demon hunters for very, very many years. And this is the final story of them helping people through these demonic happenings. And this one is the final one because it was the last case that they worked on, but this one affected their daughter. And so when your family gets involved in what you're doing to try to help people, you kind of call it off, right?
Right.
It's scary. And and I've told our listeners before, and our viewers on Fox 2 too. I don't enjoy horror movies. It's never been my genre. And this is because it is a true story, is really scary.
Kathy Connor, you like horror movies?
No,
Me
I'm
neither.
not going to watch this one.
Kathy Connor and I are out on this one.
You're not going to go to the movie theaters. Okay.
How many
all right.
popcorns?
No.
That one got 3 out of 5.
See, so you didn't even give it all the.
That one's 3.
All right, now the movie that's the big deal everybody's
Yes.
talking about that I could care the least about is the Downton Abbey grand finale,
right?
In the movie theaters.
Now, did you ever watch it on PBS? Did you ever?
No. Do I look like a guy who would sit and watch Downton?
That? No.
If it's
I had
British,
to ask.
if it's
I had
British,
to
it better
ask.
be funny or murders. That's it. Kathy Connor, did you watch Downton Abbey?
I did every episode.
All right, I'm just going
Good
to sit out. You
girl.
guys talk
Good
about
girl.
this. I'm just going to sit back until you're done.
Now he knows why he brought us together, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I think it's funny that they're saying grand finale. I really hope, Kathy, that you go to the theater and you see it this weekend because it is phenomenal. I even shed a tear or two throughout the movie. He's laughing over there. He's
I'm
like,
not
really?
laughing,
Sid,
I'm listening.
teasing- I'm teasing him. You have to remember that, this is a family who lives in a castle and maybe they can't always, be in the stature of society that they want to be in. And that is the premise behind this film, right? Without giving too much away, like you said, I think that you're going to love it. I loved it. Like I said, shed a tear or two throughout. I'm really hoping that this isn't the grand finale, though. I'm really hoping that this is
It
the
says grand finale.
I know, but I'm really hoping that it's the grand finale of this generation and give us 10 years and we're going to go into the next generation.
Kathy Connor, are you going to go see this movie?
Well, I will, but let me just take this full circle because there's an actress in Downton Abbey who is also in Mobland.
Who's that?
Who plays 2 totally different characters.
Who was she in Mobland?
And that's Harry's wife, Jan D'Souza.
Okay.
Is the maid in Downton Abbey.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm not
Look at her go. Look at her go.
Not going to make me watch it, but
You're going to have to put us together more often.
I love it. I love
There you
Kathy
go.
Connor. My God, I love Kathy Connor to death. Now, I will say, I'm not going to go see it, but I will say that I do love Paul Giamatti.
Yes.
And I love Elizabeth McGovern.
She's so good.
She's cute.
She's the mom.
So,
And Hugh Bonnefill's the dad.
I don't know who that is.
You would if you saw him.
You know what?
Yeah, you would.
I would?
You would.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
What confused me about this show for all these years is I thought it was Downtown Alley.
Are you serious?
I'm like, what? Wait, I was like, wait a minute. There's no. Maybe it's not Downtown Alley. Maybe it's something else. What's the meaning of that word? Downton.
Downton.
Good. Okay, great.
There you go.
All right.
Do you know, Kathy? Because that's what the Abbey is called. I didn't really research.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's the actual name of the town or the mansion or
where it's at
along those lines. Yeah.
Lots of popcorns.
I was always just jealous watching it on PBS. I wanted the staff. They were all so wonderful and so caring and so, I just wanted to bring them home. Right? Right, Kathy?
Well, and there's always more interesting things happening, on that side of the world. So.
All right, Kathy Connor from Connor Roofing, CONNER roofing.com. Love you. Thank you so much. Thank
you. This was fun.
Yeah, very much
We'll
fun.
do it again.
Kathy.
Maybe we'll do it after you see the Downtown Alley. It's so funny that. All right, Kathy Kaiser, when do we see you on Channel 2?
Thursdays. Usually Thursday morning. We film live at 9, and then you get to see me again at noon. So
the more the better.
There you go.
I forgot to mention Dexter finale. Season's done.
Yes.
Great.
And
loved it.
You're hoping for another one.
Well, I think they've already renewed it for season 2 and 3.
Yes.
So that's always good to know, but bad to know, because if you know Dexter's not going to die.
Right.
If there's two more seasons.
They're never gonna be able to kill him off, do you think?
No, because his son shot him right in the chest, and somehow they brought him back to life from that.
Exactly.
I love the whole Dexter universe. I did. All right, Kathy Kaiser from Channel 2. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That's What Are You Watching? And that's did we even play that? No, we didn't.
What are you watching?
There we go. Sorry about that. That was my fault. What are you watching? All right, when we get back, Miller Tank. Are you ready for Miller? Everybody ready for some Miller? I'm ready for a Miller. That's next on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk.
On the next Larry Connors USA.
Today, the latest on the Charlie Kirk assassination and its impact on our nation.
Larry Connors USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
Well, I'll be darned. Time to talk about Kathy Connor some more. Isn't that great? Connor Roofing, CONNER roofing.com. Kathy and Rob Connor have been doing this for 31 years. Do you think it's a coincidence that Vic Porcelli arrived in St. Louis the same year that Connor Roofing started? Huh, how about that? They specialize in residential roofing and repair. That means if they're doing your house, they're not going to split on you to do some big old industrial project. And you can always count on them to not be goobers, because Goober, he doesn't even know where your roof is, And he may say, oh, my God, you need a whole new roof. Say, Goober, I don't think so. I'm going to have Rob and Kathy Connor come out and talk to me about that. And they'll give you the honest estimate. They will give you the quality work. And you can even talk about Downton Alley with Kathy Connor. That was funny. We had two alliteration people, Kathy Connors and Kathleen Kaiser. Great customer service after the sale, of course. And if you need an emergency storm repair, they're there for you too. Okay, so get them on the internet, connerroofing.com, CONNER roofing.com.
Storm damage got you stressed out? Don't worry. Call Mario and his team at Top Quality Exteriors. We're your local St. Louis neighbors. Mario and his team specialize in roofing, siding, and gutters. Whether you need a few shingles replaced or a complete exterior makeover, we bring quality work with real results at an affordable price. Plus, we'll work with your insurance company to get your claim approved and help you get your repairs done quickly. Call for a free estimate today, 314-618-8888. BBB accredited and ready to roll. 314-618-8888.
Jamie Ullman here with the great Eric Swanson of Newstedter's Fine Jewelers, Doherty Ferry and Big Bend. Tell me about Wow Diamonds.
Wow Diamonds. We call them that because when people come in and look at the diamonds, everyone says, wow. We feature those in natural diamonds, the mine diamonds. They're perfectly cut, polished, and proportioned. Not all diamonds come out of the cutting process the same, and ours are perfect. That's why they're called Wow Diamonds.
Newstedter's Fine Jewelers right there at Doherty Ferry and Big Bend, wowdiamonds.com.
News, analysis, and opinion.
With these new cheating maps, a Democrat vote in California will be worth 8 times a Republican vote.
If you are a terrorist, what do we do with ISIS and Al-Qaeda terrorists? We have drones that take them out from the sky.
Every boatload of any form of drug that poisons the American people is an imminent threat.
This is what it looks like when you have the will in the Oval Office with President Trump.
1019 and 94.1.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL. Fox News commentary.
College tuition is skyrocketing, and some college students are finding, let's just say, creative ways to pay it. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
College ain't cheap, and it's not getting more affordable anytime soon. And you know what they say, desperate times call for desperate measures. Enter OnlyFans. Reports show students are raking in thousands a month by selling adult content online. In the U.S., OnlyFans creators jumped from 350,000 in 2019 to over 4 million in 2023. Across the pond, a UK survey found 22% of students had tried it, with some earning enough to cover their degrees in full. That kind of cash is certainly enticing, but I'd remind these young people that the internet is forever and quick cash is great, but at what cost? Sure, a part-time restaurant or retail job is a lot more work for the paycheck, but there is virtue in an honest day's work that doesn't involve selling your body. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
Little soul for a Friday. Soulful Strut. That song's, have you seen, Ashlyn, have you seen Parent Trap? The one with Lindsay Lohan?
Yes.
That's
I
in
love
that.
one.
That's,
oh my gosh.
that song's in it when she did the secret handshake with the butler guy. All right, enough of that. It's Friday, just to catch you up on what's happening. They did catch the guy that shot Charlie Kirk. His name is Tyler Robinson. He's 22 years old. There's a picture. I saw a picture. My wife sent me a picture of the kid and his father at like a diner. It looks like they're at a diner or a restaurant and they're eating. And the dad looks very, very conservative, and he's a cop for a lot of years. And somewhere something went wrong, obviously. And this is the danger of social media, you know, the way the left want to indoctrinate, radicalize kids to their side of the fence. I mean, the good news is if they want to follow conservative people and have conservative ideals, nobody will get hurt. But when you radicalize a kid to the left, violent, liberal world, there will be violence. And we saw it Wednesday. I can't even remember. Was it Wednesday Charlie Kirk got shot? Yeah, I think it was Wednesday. And it's so bad. So he's now in the Utah County Jail, and they're still going to go after the death penalty. Spencer Cox, the Utah governor, liked that guy a lot. First thing he said at the press conference, we got him. All right, it's Friday. It's almost the end of the show. I'm getting thirsty. Is Miller time.
Welcome to Miller time.
It's Miller time. Miller time. Miller time.
What an amazing piece of production that is from Ken Williams. You have no idea. I know exactly what he did, but I don't know how he did it, and I could never do it as good as Ken Williams. Ken will be back Monday, and Ashlyn has done a great job. Thank you so much. So let's get going. I'm thirsty. God, Ashlyn, give me a Miller.
Can we just get your reaction to the jobs report?
The president has presided over the most extraordinary economic turnaround in American history. During the Biden administration, we saw zero net job gains for American workers in 4 years, which is an economic depression for American workers. It's an actual depression. Since President Trump has came into office, 100% of job gains have gone to American workers, as millions of foreign workers who are here illegally have left the country. So this is the biggest economic turnaround in American history. On top of that, you have $4 trillion from the CBO. It's going to be much more than that coming into the Treasury from the tariffs, the historic trade policy. You have well over $15 trillion of pledged foreign investment coming into the country to revitalize the economy. And you have the passage of the largest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history. So we are living through the most successful, extraordinary economic revival. You see car plants coming in, you see steel plants coming in, you see manufacturing plants coming in. You're going to see all these critical industries, pharmaceuticals, chips, semiconductors, reshoring. It is truly the great American revival that President Trump has unleashed. And of course, we're also going to, we have seen the most extraordinary job growth for American workers and American citizens that we've seen in recent history coming off a period of 4 years where every single job went to a foreign worker. Foreign workers are now leaving the economy. American workers are getting all the benefits. And of course, we have larger issues to deal with the integrity of BLS that President Trump has spoken about. And we're going to get that fixed, and we're going to get honest and accurate jobs numbers.
What happened? Did it? Oh, so yeah, I mean, see, the press wants Stephen Miller to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're right," but illegal aliens that had jobs that don't belong in the country to begin with leave. That leaves the job opening. So, in essence, a job lost, but not really, because it wasn't an American citizen that had the job. So don't try to be sneaky, press. Yeah, right. All right, I'm still thirsty, Ashton. Give me a Miller.
The Democrat Party, Sean, is terrorizing the American people. Just think about what is happening in our major cities, the bloodbaths every single weekend. One victim after another, one shooting after another, one murder after another. When you have Democrat politicians like Pritzker and Newsom that are freeing illegal alien pedophiles, illegal alien child abductors, illegal alien murderers back into our streets to kidnap people, to beat them senseless, to stab them and shoot them to death. This is terrorism being waged against the American people. And then you look at that video that chills our very souls out of Charlotte, that beautiful young woman stabbed to death, murdered savagely on a subway, just trying to get home from work, fleeing war, only to run into a Democrat war zone here in our country. That monster, 14 prior arrests in and out. The Democrat policies of catch and release for barbarians and savages is truly an act of terror, Sean, against the American people. It cannot be explained unless you deeply, fundamentally hate America.
So this is interesting. Those comments from Stephen Miller were before Charlie Kirk was murdered. And he's talking about the violent left, right? And the violent left happened after the Charlotte incident, the terrible Charlotte incident. And it only solidified the things he's saying, that the left in this country are very violent people. They want to make it sound like they are the nice ones and we're the great big bad ones, when it's really they are the violent ones. They are the ones that always resort to violence. After George Floyd died in Minneapolis, there were riots that were so bad that the police department had to close one of their precincts, one of their department buildings, because everything was on fire. When Charlie Kirk was murdered 2 days ago, there were vigils and praying, because they make fun of us because we pray, right? Thoughts and prayers. They love to make fun of us saying thoughts and prayers. Well, it's better than bombs and bullets, I guess, right? Bombs and bullets to you, thoughts and prayers just sounds a lot nicer. And it breaks my heart that the Ukrainian girl, Irina, who was murdered by some total scumbag on a light rail train in Charlotte, we've kind of forgot about her and that incident. As soon as Charlie Kirk's thing came, we kind of forgot all about her, and we can't. I mean, Charlie, of course, deserves so much attention on him being murdered, but we got to remember the Ukrainian girl too. And I wish it wasn't. I didn't have to see it, but boy, it really told us a lot. The full video of her getting murdered is on the internet. I watched it. She's in such shock that she just put her hands over her throat because he hit her in the neck with a knife and looked at him with a look like, why would you do that? She didn't say anything, but her eyes said it. Her eyes said, why would you do this? And then she slumped down on the floor and died, bled out, right on the light rail train floor. Okay. You know what, Ashton? I'm still a little thirsty, so give me a Miller.
Nicolas Maduro is an indicted drug trafficker. He's indicted in federal court. He is a fugitive from justice in America. As I think you're also aware, there's a $50 million reward for the return of Nicolas Maduro. Not just him, his henchmen have also been indicted. So it is a drug cartel that is running Venezuela. This is a very important point. It's not a government, it is a drug cartel, a narco trafficking organization that is running Venezuela. And this has been documented in federal court, and indictments have been secured. The people of Venezuela have been suffering and struggling under the reality of a nation that is so rich in resources, so rich in reserves, that is run by Maduro, the head of the cartel that you referenced, the Cartel de los Sols. That is absolutely one of the most ruthless criminal cartels on the planet. And many Americans may not realize that the drugs killing their kids are coming from Maduro, and also the criminal aliens killing their kids are coming from Maduro. So he's sending his drugs, he is sending his killers, his assassins into our communities, and he's working directly with other designated foreign terrorist organizations like the FARC in Colombia and all the Mexican drug cartels. So it's one continuous loop. And for decades and for years, for generations, we used our military to engage in action against terrorists in the Middle East and in Africa, while leaving unharmed the terrorists in our own hemisphere who are responsible for so much more American deaths, so many more American deaths, who have spilled so much blood across the Western Hemisphere, who have bereaved so many parents and families, and who have contributed to such a horrific cycle and just nonstop, relentless surge of violence in our cities. Every major city in America is suffering from cartel violence. Even the U.S.-based gangs are working directly with these cartels. The drugs, the guns, the weapons, the cash, the organization. We've been occupied by cartels for far too long. President Trump is finally allowing and directing the United States military to use its authorities under the Constitution to defend America from the terrorist organizations that have run free for too long in our own hemisphere.
Venezuela, that country couldn't be in a bigger mess. You know, they just couldn't. I mean, you remember the boat with all the fentanyl in it that we blew up? That's just the tip of the iceberg, you know. And Maduro is a terrible guy. And, you know, I guess everybody get in line. All these countries that want to be fixed, just get in line. All right, that's all the time we have for Miller Time.
Miller Time. Miller Time.
You know what, Ashlyn? I'd like to explain something to you very quickly because this is how great this is and how genius Ken Williams is. Stephen Miller is the guy we heard talking, and the guy playing guitar is Steve Miller.
Oh my
Steve
gosh.
Miller Band. Okay?
He's so great.
That's the genius of Kenneth James Williams, who is coming back on Monday. And boy, how weird is it that he was in Utah, where the same state that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and he was shook up because, you know, how do you not be shook up when you see it? Because now, you know, we're in a well, I was going to say we're in an age now where, of course, we're going to see it with cell phones and everything. But we caught all John F. Kennedy getting his head blown off, right, with the Zapruder tapes. So Zapruder films, sorry. But anyway, Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old assassin of Charlie Kirk, is being held in the Utah County Jail. There was a press conference earlier today. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and Governor Spencer Cox of Utah, who I really like. I like that guy a lot. I would have loved to have heard from Dan Bongino just because we miss him and we haven't heard his voice, and cutesy time is still over. And Kash Patel, I think that if he were more, if he gave us more on the procedures of what happened rather than how great the FBI is, and I get it, FBI is better now than it was under Biden, but he was more of saying how great his guys are, and they are. They're great, and they got him, and they found him, and they found him last night at 10 p.m. and then announced it this morning. President Trump was on Fox and Friends this morning, and that was the first we heard that we got him, and then the press conference in Utah came after that. And Spencer Cox, the governor, did most of the talking, took all the questions. I don't think Kash Patel or Dan Bongino took any questions. But nonetheless, this story is unraveling very quickly. And it did. It unraveled very, very quickly. You know, this kid thought he was going to get away with it, I guess. I don't know. Because you're not going to get away with it. And we got him. And that was the first words that Governor Cox said. We got him. All right, coming up next, our great friend, Michael Letts from investusa.org. Love to hear what he's going to say about this and the Charlie Kirk assassination and the scumbag who did it. And that is all coming up right after the news on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Big things always happening at The Hideout. Tim Jones here with a reminder. The Hideout is famous for the Sunset Patio. 50 big screen TVs, live music, special events, and of course, the food. The Hideout in High Ridge features the best handcrafted burgers around, the signature Sunset Dip, Dave's Delicious Chili. See for yourself why The Hideout is the stop for lunch, dinner, or their famous happy hour on the Sunset Patio. Check it all out. HideoutSportsBar.com, Hideout Sports Bar on Facebook. See it for yourself, 3367 High Ridge Boulevard. I'll see you at The Hideout.
Tony Colombo here for All Solutions Pest Control, the team Christine and I trust to protect our home. We've used multiple services at multiple homes over the years, and I can tell you from all that experience, All Solutions is second to none. If you have a pest problem of any kind, or more importantly, just want to prevent a problem, All Solutions is the team to call. Learn more and take advantage of their incredible $67 introductory offer right now at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Located in the heart of St. Charles, Kevin's Guns is your family-owned destination for all things firearms. Whether you're a collector, hunter, or military enthusiast, we have it or can get it for you. From new to used rifles and handguns in every style and caliber, our friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help educate you and ensure you make the perfect choice for your needs. Buy, sell, or browse our incredible selection at kevinsguns.net or call 636-493-1195. Kevin's Guns, where gun enthusiasts come home.
Hey, folks, the Clayton Sleep Institute and my friend Dr. Ojal back supporting free common sense conservative radio. ClaytonSleep.com, treating the full range of adult and pediatric sleep disorders from sleep apnea to insomnia, restless leg syndrome, periodic limb movement, and narcolepsy. What an awesome place. New comfy setting for the sleep lab. ClaytonSleep.com, 314-645-5855. Better sleep, better life.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. A 33-hour manhunt is over for the suspect who shot Charlie Kirk. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, a Utah man, is now in custody. At a news conference, Utah Governor Spencer Cox says family members say the suspect became more political over time.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in a conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
Kirk was shot as he spoke to a crowd gathered in a courtyard at Utah Valley University in Orem. A Mauser 30 caliber bolt-action rifle was found in a towel in the woods. A spent cartridge was recovered from the chamber. More than 7,000 leads and tips had poured in. The Trump administration wants Lisa Cook removed from the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors by Monday. White House correspondent Greg Clugston with the update.
In an emergency request, the president's lawyers asked an appeals court to remove Cook because of mortgage fraud allegations. The White House wants her gone by Monday, before the central bank's vote next week on interest rates. The president tried to fire Cook, but a federal judge ruled this week that was illegal. If the Trump appeal is successful, Cook would be removed from the Fed's board until her case is ultimately resolved in the courts. Greg Clugston, Washington.
And Wall Street coasting toward the finish of its best week in the last 5, although the Dow is down 182 points. The Nasdaq is up 80. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show here. Everything's getting more expensive these days, groceries to gas, healthcare. If you're feeling that squeeze, you're not alone. Listen, your biggest asset might just be the answer, your home. That's why I strongly recommend my good friends at Fellowship Home Loans. Mike and Brian and the team have helped so many families, especially in times like these, tap into their home's equity to keep their head above water, whether it's covering rising medical costs, helping out a loved one, or just breathing room in your monthly budget. They can help. You see, you're not giving up. You're just getting smart, because at the end of the day, it's about protecting your family and your future. Make sure you ask how you can skip 2 mortgage payments when you refinance. 2. Going into the fall and the holidays, that could really be helpful, right? Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. It's Fellowship Home Loans. Fellowship Home Loans. Mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 81938.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Concerned about the condition of your windows driving up your energy bills? I was too. It's only called STL Windows and Doors. Their Provia windows combine old world craftsmanship the professional way, the Provia way, with over 65 years of combined experience, locally owned, offering competitive pricing and personalized service that the big box companies can't match. Call today for your free in-home estimate and start saving tomorrow. 314-277-5952 or stlwindowsanddoors.com.
The Washington Guard presents the 4th Annual Patriots Banquet, The Price of Freedom, honoring real American heroes. Join us October 11th at Parish Hall in Union, Missouri. Hear from featured speakers Doug Giles, founder of Warriors and Wild Men, and Marine Colonel Jack Jackson, Harrier jet fighter pilot. Master of Ceremonies Jamie Allman will host this inspiring evening. For tickets, visit thewashingtonguard.com. Use code NewsTalkSTL for $10 off.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by the Trolley Stop Bakery, the official bakery of the Vic Porcelli Show. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, you know, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right, hour number 3 of our 3-hour tour. That means in 1 hour, Ashlyn will be released on her own recognizance. And she's been locked up with me here for a week. I really appreciate you, by the way. Did a great job. So you sang in Cuba?
I did.
Let's make sure I got this right. We were talking about, I forget what we were talking about. Oh, somebody in the chat box said that something about old classic cars in Cuba. And I'm sorry, when I hear Cuba, now that I live in Missouri, I think of Cuba, Missouri, you know? And then Ashlyn says, oh, I sang in Cuba. And then I must have sounded like such an idiot when I said, oh, so was it like a couple hours away? How did you get there? Did you drive? And you were like, no, we flew. And I'm like, you flew from here to Cuba? So what was it like being in a communist country, I guess, is my biggest question.
It definitely made me appreciate America so much. There were still bullet holes in some of the buildings.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
The buses and transportation was really sketchy. Like there were holes in the buses that we took.
Really? Now, was Fidel Castro alive still, or was his brother running the joint?
Oh gosh.
I forget what Fidel Castro.
I know,
died.
I forget too.
Do you remember when you went?
It was probably 2000. I want to see 17 or 18.
I think he was dead already, but I'm looking it up. Fidel Castro died in 2016. So it's right around there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Cuba used to be, people from America went there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before 1959, when Fidel Castro took over, the guy he replaced was no angel. Don't get me wrong. He was in bed with the mafia, and they had casinos, and Meyer Lansky used to come and run the casinos. And then, of course, when Fidel Castro took over, it was like just a terrible, terrible place to live. So Michael Letts is not with us. Is that correct? Correct. So let's get back to talking about the scumbag that killed Charlie Kirk. This kid was radicalized. This is so funny because, I'm sorry, terrible use of words. It's not funny. It's, I don't know, ironic. I don't know what it is, but he was radicalized by the left. And, I hate to say this, but if your kids are, of social media age, shall we say, watch who they're talking to. Watch who they're listening to. Watch who they're getting advice and information from. Because it could be somebody trying to radicalize your kid. His father was 27-year police veteran. 27 years. He looks pretty conservative to me. And there's pictures of him, this kid and his father, sitting having dinner at a diner, at a restaurant, and they look all chummy, like everything's great. And look what happened, and he turned him in. He had a moral dilemma on his hand. How many people would say, would never turn my family in for anything? There are plenty of families who say that. And the moral answer is, yeah, you kind of have to. So, I don't know. I still can't believe, and when we get to the chat box coming up here in a bit, a lot of people share the sentiment of, I can't even believe Charlie Kirk is dead. I mean, he was part of my wife's life. I would walk by. So our house is situated. When you walk into the living room where the TV is, she's got a couch that's looks straight at it, and then mine is perpendicular to that, runs across the window, the back of the house. And so I can always see what she's looking at on the internet when I walk by her. And at night, she's got her headphones in and she's watching Charlie Kirk. And she was so impressed on how he handled himself talking to these kids, some of which, the etching on one of the, I'm sorry, it just came up on a banner. Hey, fascist, catch. That's what it was. I knew it said, hey, fascist. Just want to make sure. Hey, fascist, catch. In other words, I catch this bullet with your neck, I guess. Anyway, so she was always so impressed with Charlie Kirk. And she'd send me clips. We would both watch clips of him doing it, watch full events, and how well he handled himself. And I'm telling you, she has not taken this very well at all. Last night, she was still kind of in a daze. So, try to picture somebody that you really like, and all of a sudden they're gone. And then, while you're thinking of that scenario, think about how they died a violent death. And it shakes you up. And it happened, I don't know how many days, just days after this poor Ukrainian girl was stabbed to death on a light rail train in Charlotte. By the way, on the Wheel of Audio Clips, we'll have Brian Stelter that we played. That's what the Wheel of Audio Clips is. It's a review of clips that we played throughout the week. And, sometimes they just become very important and topical to what we're talking about now. Can I talk a little bit about people who are leftists, who are celebrities, shall we say, or at least well known? One guy I'm thinking of, looking at a video right now that he put on Facebook, who just hate us, hate me. He doesn't know he hates me, but if he knew what I did, he hates me because he doesn't live here anymore. He lives in Buffalo now. But he has said the most hurtful things about Trump, about Kirk, and he thinks he's right. And all the sheep, ooh, smartest guy in radio. Oh, I don't want to ever, say anything against what you're saying. John, I'll say his first name, John. Who is it?
It's Michael.
Michael Letts. Good morning. How are you?
There has been a busy 28 hours, as I'm sure you can aware, and
well, I haven't worked as hard as you have.
Answer the calls as fast as they come in.
No, I hear you. I know I haven't worked as hard as you have in these last 48 hours. That's for darn sure. Michael, I never asked you.
Well,
first of all, let's say Michael's company is investusa.org. They buy bulletproof vests for police officers and first responders and stuff. I never asked you, where are you geographically? Are you in the East Coast, West Coast, North, South?
East Coast.
East Coast.
South
Okay.
Carolina.
So, South Carolina. Okay. So, in the course of a few days, this poor Ukrainian girl gets stabbed to death on the subway, the light rail train, and then Charlie Kirk gets murdered. I mean, what's going on? What's going on in our country?
Well, I mean, you're exactly right. We'll talk about that, Victor. It's all one thing, two separate issues. Right before the Ukrainian girl here in Columbia, South Carolina, exactly where I live, and Charlotte is only 50 miles north. We had another university girl that was killed, and the analogy between the Ukrainian and the girl here in Columbia, South Carolina, the one in Columbia, South Carolina, the assailant had been arrested 41 times, and still out. In the Ukrainian girl, the assailant had been in prison 14 times and given early release every time put out. So you see, these policies do not work when you cudgel criminals. It just causes the deaths of innocents. On Charlie's issue, Charlie's is a very specific matter because it was a conservative targeted voice that they were attempting to eliminate. And their purpose is, they thinking by eliminating one voice, conservative voice, that others would be scared to step forward and that they would be able to silence the information that's coming out, just like information that I'm giving you, Vic, and I've been giving you things that are occurring. But they're mistaken, or sadly wrong. What's going to happen is that I believe under Charlie's circumstance that there will be hundreds, if not thousands, that will step forward to fill the void and to complete his legacy of making sure that the truth is known. Your station being one of them, Vic, and we're so proud to be a guest on there.
Oh, we love having you, Michael. You know that. So, I mean, the big hashtag on X after Charlie was murdered was "enough is enough," and I agree, enough is enough. But what does that really mean? What is going to happen? Are we going to go to civil war in this country, Michael?
That is their goal, without question. Now let's put that in context and in frame. We're talking about 20% or less of the people who have this totally weird ideology that is just out of reality and is filled with nothing but hate and bitterness, compared to 80% of Americans who see the truth and who see values and who see principle. And so let's not allow 20% to dictate how this plays out. Why do they want it so much to go to civil war? Because when you get into a civil war, you get into emotional issues and people forget why they're fighting for. They just know, I don't like the other side. And they want to expand it and do as much damage to this country so that they can come back into power. We're not going to let that happen. At the same time, what does need to happen for enough to be enough? We have said it before, and we'll say it again on your show. We've done a fantastic job of determining where the nefarious activities have been and exposing those. We have not done a fantastic job on making sure we brought them to justice. It is time to move into the next phase aggressively and to make sure. Now, remember, When we're talking about justice, and I know people don't like to hear this, but they need to hear the truth. Our judicial system is very corrupted. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me use an illustration. We had National Guard members that this is not public knowledge, but I'm making it public on your show, who were assaulted. And I'm not talking about major assaults, but just assaulted and were charged with doing so in the DC area. People who were charged for having assaulted these officers. When we went to get indictments, you remember indictments are what you call a grand jury indictment. I mean, you have 12 citizens that review the facts and determine, yes, this happened, not saying whether it's innocent or guilty, but it happened and deserves to be tried. We could not get any indictments. Why? Because those people in that area are so bought into that liberal ideology that they refuse to issue the indictments. This is why I've been saying we don't need to, on the major stuff that's coming down that I've been talking about on your show, we don't need to jeopardize getting an indictment based on people who for some reason may have part of that ideology or thought and mindset. We need to go to military tribunals to get the politics out of it, to make sure that this is the facts, this is what has been done. You're to be tried on the facts. If the facts are substantiated, you are going to face the penalty and be held accountable for the action. And if they're not, then it's dismissed. That's where we need to be. So what I'm pressing the administration to do is I think we need to shift our focus now. Yes, we're going to continue to investigate and find more nefarious because it comes up once every 15 minutes.
Right.
But we need to focus on moving forward now and holding people accountable. And that means if we can't get what needs to be done through our judicial process, then let's move to military tribunals. Because remember, military tribunal can only be convened for national security matters. Most of what I've been talking about on your show deal with national security matters.
Right.
Let's take these big fish and get them done.
Right.
I think that'll send a strong message once they see that we mean business and it's not just talk, not just exposing, but they're being held accountable. I think we'll see a great change even as it filters down to the crimes you're seeing occurring now.
You know what? You don't have to convince me. We're talking to our great friend, Michael Letts from InvestUSA.org. Only a couple of minutes left here, Michael, but two things I want to get to real quickly. Bartenders, if you're in a bar and a bartender overserves a customer and that customer leaves drunk, gets in a car, drives drunk, and kills someone, that bartender could be liable. So why don't we do that to judges who let these criminals out and let them back on the street and end up stabbing some girl in the neck?
I think that's a fantastic idea. In fact, I have been saying that here for the last few days. Thank you for being the first one to go public with it. I haven't had time to go public with it yet.
I'm here for
Thank you for bringing it out because this is exactly where we need to be. Twofold. We need to go out for the judges. And second of all, we need to go out to our elected officials. What I mean by that, if you want to defund police and I'm paying for that as part of my taxes, then you're gypping me. I need to get a refund.
Right.
We need to hold our elected officials accountable for their actions. It's time that we start playing ball, hardball, and using the court system the way they use it against us.
All right. And finally, Michael, I just a thought on my head that the left, you know, these kids, everybody's saying that Charlie Kirk was hateful. He said hateful things, were full of hate. And it's actually the left who are the hateful people who hate everything. And we may have given you this before. We have a little acronym that we use. It's called EDSTOIT. Everything Democrats say, the opposite is true. And now it's ended up in the death of Charlie Kirk.
Oh, you're exactly right. I love your saying. And the numbers, the statistics prove exactly what you say. I cannot recall a single time when a conservative took out his quote unquote anger and harm and violence and did something. But we're losing track as to how many times the leftist liberal sides are taking violence into their own hands and destroying life, property, and trying to disrupt the American way of life.
All right. InvestUSA.org. Go there, make a donation, and help get a police officer a bulletproof vest. Michael, always a pleasure to have you on the show. And let's talk. If anything breaks, man, you call us. We'll throw you right on the air, okay?
We'll look forward to it because there are lots breaking, and I'll let you know. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Michael Letts.
God bless.
A guy who said they did an investigation, a sting operation, and he said so many elected officials are involved, it would collapse the government. Collapse it. All right, couple of more. You only got a couple of more segments to go, Ashlyn, and then you're free. Chat box is next. Can't wait. Because you guys are saying some pretty cool stuff on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk and the coolest bumper music with the Hollies.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Whoosh.
News Talk STL. Always streaming on your smart speaker, our mobile app, or newstalkstl.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
JC's Wayback Machine.
It's great stuff in the 90s, 80s, and 70s. Our A-list interview of the week is with Lou Gramm of Foreigner. He talks about songs by his own band he didn't like.
I didn't like it. I really didn't even want to sing it.
And I'm going to play you a Meatloaf song with Cher. And it's good. Plus, Desperate Housewife Terry Hatcher talks about her nipples. All brought to you by the Weber Automotive Group.
It's JC's Wayback Machine. Every Saturday night, 6 to 9 on News Talk STL.
This is Tony Colombo, and my favorite Capriotti sandwich is the cheesesteak made with American Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms, and you have to include a side of their amazing fries. I love Capriotti's, and you will too.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Before I met my lawyer, I felt hopeless. I felt soon to be homeless. And after I met my lawyer, I got that hope back. I was like, yes, we can do this, gave me the energy to go. I just want people to know that there's always help out there. Go out there and look for it and go get it.
Visit MissouriLawyersHelp.org to learn more. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Brought to you by the Missouri Bar.
You want the best place to watch baseball or any sport and be able to enjoy premium cigars and whiskeys? Lit Cigar Lounge. Lit has so many events each month. You need to constantly check the Lit Cigar Lounge Facebook. You don't want to miss anything. Plus, you can order food from Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta, delivered within minutes right to your table. By the way, we're in the season for great patio dining. Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta has your table waiting. Larry Connors here, welcoming Tom Shaw Realtors. Nearly 100 years helping folks buy, sell acreage, homes, horse property. Call Tom, 636-432-1922. 432-1922.
News, analysis, opinion.
Historic meeting between European leaders, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and President Trump.
We want to stop the killing, get this settled.
101.9 and 94.1.
We all want peace.
News Talk STL.
All right, good morning, 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL. I'm Vic Porcelli. Ashlyn over there doing a great job filling in for Ken Williams, who returns on Monday. Been a rough time for him, man. He, you heard him yesterday with us. He was just deflated. He was in the state where it happened. I feel like Kenny feels like, why wasn't he there to stop the bullet to save Charlie Kirk? Because, Kenny's kind of a superhero. All right, you ready for the chat box, Ashlyn? Let's do it. Starting Facebook today, our favorite Navy chief, Scotty Downey. Morning, gents and fellow Vic heads. My heart and soul is still heavy. It's time to put the full amount of God on stand tall and stand proud in our faith, in the love of our nation. This is the fight of good versus evil, and we are on the right side of history. Hug your loved ones each and every day, which I do. David Sylvester thanked us for putting the press conference on, of course, Dave. Appreciate you, baby. Good morning, Vickhead Patriots. Kimberly says, I'm curious to know what physical evidence has been confirmed, fingerprints, etc. You know, in the short time since you sent this, Kimberly, has been a ton. Fingerprints, DNA. He turned himself in, so there's plenty of evidence there. But I totally get what you're talking about in just a little bit of time. Did they confirm the ownership, etc.? They're gone. I get it, Kimberly. I'm pretty sure they did, and you know, they got him. They got him. Vic. Oh, Vic, thank you for sharing. I didn't know the reference. I'm pretty sure she's talking about Bella Ciao, which this scumbag wrote on a casing. And he wrote, hey, fascist, catch. And then he wrote Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao. That's the song, Bella Ciao. And if you missed it earlier today, Bella Ciao is an 80-year-old song that the partisans of Mussolini would sing. You know, you don't get to shoot somebody and kill somebody in a show of hate and then get to use Bella Ciao. Sorry, you don't get it. And one of these days, maybe we'll just take the song apart and I'll explain. I'll translate it for you and tell you exactly what all the words are and what they mean. Amy said, my brain can just not comprehend that he's gone. Amy, I get that so much. I so get that. And that hit me yesterday. I was like, wait, Charlie Kirk is dead? It's so hard. It's so hard to comprehend that he's no longer with us and no longer going to be going to college campuses and just having conversations with kids. And by the way, Ben Shapiro said he's going to pick up where Charlie left off, going to campuses. I just hope we talk slow enough so the kids can hear him. I don't know. All right. Our pastor reminded us that it's okay to not like someone, but the Lord is and will be the only judge. I feel Charlie would agree. Well, look who's here. Joy, Ultra, MAGA, dishwashing liquid Joy. Well, ladies and gents and gentle cats, it's finally Friday, but this Friday is different and not so happy, and it sucks. I get it, Joy. Praying for his wife and children. If we as people that just watch his videos and watch him from a great distance, I can't even start to understand what his family is going through right now. But as a Christian, we know he is in a better place. When he walked through those gates, we know what God said. Job well done, my good and faithful servant. We will always remember his legacy, how many lives he touched, how many lives he changed through his speaking. You almost did it, Joy. You almost made me cry, but I got through it. Good morning, Freedom Fighters. Thank you, Tom. Good morning, Fam Bam. Kathleen. Mobile today, says Paul, picking up auction items for smoking for Veterans Barbecue Bash competition. Shout out to Razorback Armory for being a sponsor again this year. Thank you for sponsoring the event. Whoosh, brothers. We still need sponsors. Let me just give you Paul's phone number because it's easier than his email address. 417-425-4130. And this will always be here. These comments on the Facebook page. Oh, there it is. Did you just do that? Oh, well done. It's real big now on the bottom of the chat box. So get in touch with Paul and help him out with this great event. I don't know. I know he's talking about local elected officials. He mentioned defunding police, but for crying out loud, I'm going to mention MO2, Congresswoman Ann Wagner, one of the most unaccounted for politicians in Missouri. That's his words, not mine. And I'll leave it at that. The right view guns as sport and defense. The left is killing machines. Exactly right, Tom. We hunt and sport. That's why we have guns and defense, right? If anybody wants to come in and try to kill us in our house, we have a defense. But the left just use it as killing machines. Kathleen said my heart literally aches. Yep. A physical pain. All right, over to Rumble we go. Duke's in first this morning. Good morning, all freedom fighting patriot Vickheads. Whoosh, my brothers and sisters. Ed Stoit says, I am second. God is first. So Duke, I don't know. That looks like Duke was in there pretty close. Pledge of allegiance to the flag, United States of America, no for election, no peace, no fair tariffs, no peace. Ed pulls the big card. President, you are my president. Trump, USA, USA. No fair elections, no peace. Good morning, you beautiful, mega, ultra-patriotic, deplorable, garbagian, degenerate, freedom-fighting, God-fearing, Vic-head weirdos. Whoosh. Hi, Vic. Hi, Ed. We are at turning point. We are at a turning point brought on by hate. You want cancel culture? You're getting it now. Embrace your freedom of speech, then reap the consequences. You have set us free. Free speech is there for a reason. Use it whenever you want, whenever you can. We will no longer be held back. Patriots unite peacefully, yet be firm and fight back with facts. Which reminds me of President Trump on January 6th when he said, go peacefully and patriotically, let your voice be heard. And son of a gun, that didn't come out in the January 6th hearing. Committee hearing. Charlie said, you eliminate one of us, 10 come forward. You eliminate another, 100 come forward, then 1,000 and more. You have finally went too far. Yes, I'm mad. I know they got him, but I ask all not to use his name. Just say Charlie's murderer. I can do that. Charlie's assassin. Yeah, I'm mad too. Nobody's madder than my wife, I'm telling you. She last night was not a good night either for her. I put a picture on my regular Facebook page, and I said, it's very somber at the house last night, and even these two were gentle and quiet, and that was the two dogs just laying together. It was almost like they knew something was going on, something was bothering mommy. We better behave. So mommy's upset. Those who did not want to pray in Congress and booed, shame. TMZ employees, shame. Yep, shame on all those who promoted this. Shame on all who cheered it. Anyone else agree, or should I be quiet here? No, Ed, you shouted out from the mountaintops, my man. Allison said, good morning, everyone. Ed, do you want to repeat all that for Allison? She was late. Ed, that's what bothers me the most, that someone can celebrate anyone being murdered. To know there is such evil, the leftists and media who labeled Charlie with disgusting names are to blame. If you cheer the murder and assassination of anyone, you are a piece of stuff. I shan't cuss on this here radio, don't you worry. A freaking coward. Why didn't he debate Charlie if he disagreed? Boy, that's the point of the day. If he hated Charlie so much, instead of killing him, why not get in line to talk to him? Because Charlie would have put you in the front of the line, by the way. That's what he did. He found people who were the most against him and let them go first. I pray there will be a day when this nickname Ed Stoit is no longer true. It never will, Ed. You're stuck with it, and because everything Democrats say the opposite is true will always be a thing. Don't forget how the schools and colleges teach their kids to hate our country. Wow, Susie, worry you experienced that by yourself, being strong for all of us. I think that was Susie's story about her daughter was born in March of 2002, but she felt like she became a mom on 9/11 because her husband was away and she was by herself, and it was all on her, and that's when she became a mom. Still smells fishy. Who trained him? You don't just pick that gun and aim and shoot the first time and hit your target on a kill shot. Great point. Who trained this kid? Who got the gun for him? Who taught him how to use the scope from 200 yards? You don't just learn that on your own. Ashlyn, great job filling in for Ken.
Thank you.
Ed, he probably went hunting with his dad. Vic, you have to give them time, patience. Talking about my wife? Could be. I'm you know what? She'll get through this the way she wants to get through this. It's not for me to say. Join us October 11th to honor our first responders. Great movie about Cuba, Lost City with Andy Garcia. These new killers are also young, easily manipulated minds. We have to keep reverse indoctrinating these young kids like Charlie was. If we don't stop this now, it'll fester more. I agree. Your station needs to keep an eye on your weekend music guy's social media. Just saying. I get it. Vic, you've handled this week like a pro. Thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Beans. Beansy, I call you Beansy, like the guy in The Sopranos. The left is following rules of radicals by Alinsky. This must be Soros's Bible. He did it to 5 other countries. Hit that like button. Thank you, Ed, for reminding me of that, everybody. Would it kill you to hit the like button? We really appreciate it. And share our stuff. Listen to our podcast. Download those. That'll help us out, too. Vic, you handled this perfectly this week. Great job, Missouri Broadcaster of the Year nominations. I don't think so, but thank you so much. Cindy Fur, good morning, all. Vic, I'm checking in on our way back from New Mexico. I'm so sad about Charlie Kirk and the divide of how people see it. You know, the human way and the evil way. God bless you, Vic. Thank you so much. And all at the station. Thank you. Guys are so great. Okay. Boy, we did that. We're almost on time, kind of on time. Let's hear some music and let's come back and do the wheel of audio clips. And then you're free to go. You're Ashley, you're free to, you'll be released on your own recognizance. You don't have to be locked up in here with me all day. Well, 3 hours a day. All right. Wheel of audio clips is next. On 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
It's Friday!
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Tim is in D.C., so my guest co-host will be my friend, Jim Talent, and his special guest will be his wife, Brenda Talent, of the Show Me Institute.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
When it comes to spending your tax dollars and teaching your kids, governments and school districts should be an open book. But in Missouri, that's not always the case. Recently, the Show Me Institute sent out a sunshine law request to school districts across the state, asking for information on whether certain topics are being taught. Specifically, a controversial one called critical race theory was included in the list. Many districts didn't respond. Some wanted to charge large fees to process the documents. Lee's Summit outside Kansas City wanted over $35,000. A rural district, Morgan County, wanted $15,000. The Sunshine Law does allow charging a reasonable fee for sending out information, but there's nothing reasonable about $35,000 or $15,000. These districts should want to be transparent about their curriculums. Taxpayers deserve to know what their kids are being taught. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Tim Jones here. When life changes, which it does, you need someone you can trust, and that's Todd Sivia. The non-stuffy attorneys at Sivia Law specialize in estate planning and elder law with 7 convenient area locations. 833-995-WILL. 833-995-WILL is how you reach them. CiviaLaw.com. The first 10 people that tell them Tim Jones sent me receive a complimentary $300 strategy session. The non-stuffy attorney lawyers, Civia Law, 833-995-WILL.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Myella Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmostscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmostscholars.org. That's herzogmostscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
Jamie Allman here with the Allman Report. Pleased to be with Jordan Rosenblum. Google the bagel loan. That's what it's all about. Jordan, tell me about purchasing a home, brother.
Purchasing a home right now, it's a tough market. You're going to see a lot of competition. On the bagel loan that we have, you're going to have no closing costs, no title fees, no appraisal fees, no lender fees. Saves an average client almost $4,000 on a transaction. Customer service, unbelievable. Text, call anytime.
As I know, as a real estate agent, Google the bagel loan. Google the bagel loan, folks.
NMLS number 226715.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on Newstalk STL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
What's this? Is this song called Pineapple? Is it watermelon? What is it? What?
You've done this before, Vic.
Cantaloupe? Cantaloupe. Ooh. All right. Last break of the week, and it's been a rough week, guys. And I appreciate you all being there for me, with me, and Ashley and you too. I appreciate you being here. All right, I think it's time for the wheel. Oh, audio clips.
Oh.
Wheel.
We gotta go to the game show.
Audio clips.
Wheel of Audio Clips!
It's America's favorite game show, the Wheel of Audio Clips. Here's the host of Wheel of Audio Clips, Vic Porcelli.
Thank you, Jim Modulin, and thank you, studio audience. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it very much. Wheel of Audio Clips. We take all the clips we heard all week. We put them up on the wheel. We give them a spin, and wherever they land, that's what we do, and that's the clip that we play. Ashton, could you spin that wheel, and let's go. If we have time, I don't know if we will or not, but if we have time, I'll try to do the whole Bella Ciao thing for you and explain what each all the lyrics mean. Okay, this was great. This was, and this was before the Charlie Kirk thing, and Representative Justin Sparks hits the nail on the head.
My colleague across the aisle brought up the fact that President Donald J. Trump has in fact asked Missouri to consider redistricting. And thank God he has. I fully support it. But let's talk about why that is. It's because every single vote in Congress matters now, because the Democrat Party is now the party of men becoming women, women identifying as men.
State your point. I'm sorry.
My constituents have said it loud and clear that they fear for their children's future because of insane policies of the left. And that is the real reason we're here.
Yeah. Women who think they're men who think they're women. It's not natural. Okay. There's something wrong. And when somebody like Charlie Kirk says something like that, he ends up dead. Okay. We're living in weird times. Spin the wheel. All right. So this goes back to the Ukrainian woman who was brutally murdered on a light rail train in Charlotte. I thought Brian Stelter left. I thought he got fired from CNN, but he keeps popping up and he keeps saying the same stupid stuff.
Most murders in the U.S. never become national news. This one's garnered attention for a couple of reasons. Number one, first and foremost, the recent release of that gruesome video. Second, the energy from pro-Trump activists. They picked up on this video from local news and ran with it. It's a little bit like the times when civil rights groups have raised attention about police-involved shootings. In this case, it is Trump-aligned influencers who are posting up a storm about this case on social media. Really, over the weekend, Elon Musk, Charlie Kirk, other Trump-aligned figures succeeded in making this senseless death a symbol of big city crime. We heard President Trump asked about it yesterday when he was heading home from New York City. He didn't seem to know much about it. He said he would get briefed. And then today, Trump did know all about it. That's exactly what has happened here. This story has trickled up from local news to social media and now to the president's attention. And it's being used, as you said, Brianna, as a political symbol, with MAGA media calling for more forceful punishments and more incarceration. I have to say, some of the replies ties to Musk. Some of the comments around this story are baldly racist, stoking fear of African Americans because this man attacked a white woman. The open racism on sites like X today, it's eye-popping. But there are also legitimate questions about this so-called career criminal, someone who had been a repeat offender. And those questions, I hope they're not lost amid all of the cesspool kind of comments on social media.
Why does she have to say so-called career criminal? The guy had a rap sheet down to the floor if you held it up over your head. And it is a symbol of big city violence. But Brian Stelter, when he talks, he always sounds like he's being chased, like somebody's chasing after him, like he's got to get everything in before this guy catches me. Or maybe he's got to pee and he's talking real fast and he's got, maybe that's why he wants to end it real quick. All right, let's go. We'll spin the wheel. And we got 3 more to go, and then that's it. And I think we will have time to do the Bella Ciao. So after this, maybe we'll do Bella Ciao. Okay. All right. Yeah, we knew it had to happen. Okay, Jason Chaffetz on Wednesday when Charlie Kirk was shot. That's all we knew at the time. He was shot. By the way, Charlie Kirk and his assassination is like one of those things in history where I know exactly where I was, and I will always remember exactly where I was and what I was doing when I heard about it. I was laying on the couch, and the banner came up, and I pointed to the television, and my wife's eyes lit up, got real big and wide. I don't want to say lit up like excited. She was very nervous. And when that stuff happens, it said Charlie Kirk shot, condition unknown. When you like the person in your head, it's like, oh, well, maybe he's okay, right? And of course, he didn't. And Jason Chaffetz had a hard time getting through it.
We've got Jason Chaffetz on the phone.
I was there. My daughter was there. Son-in-law's there. My wife was there. I mean, Charlie Kirk coming to town. We were excited. 30 minutes into his presentation, 2:30 local time, and the question was about transgender shooters, mass killings, versus people that weren't transgender. And when that happened, when that question came out, and he's going to have the interaction, one shot. I was watching Charlie. I can't say that I saw blood. I can't say that I saw him get hit, but I did see him fall immediately backwards into his left. And I can just hope and pray that somehow he survived that.
Wow. Jason Chaffetz was a representative, as you know, represented Utah, and his voice was breaking the whole time. I cannot confirm this in a court of law, but I think he did see blood. I think he did know that Charlie Kirk might have died right there on the stage, and he didn't want to say it. And he was trying to hold back. And, I like Jason Chaffetz a lot. I really do. Okay, spin that wheel. We'll do a couple of more, and then it looks like we may have a minute or two to talk about Bella Ciao. Bella Ciao, ciao, ciao. Now I didn't know this until this morning. I don't know how I missed it, but a portion of 6440 in Chesterfield was closed yesterday because somebody jumped from the overpass.
Let me explain what's happening here. We have this new information from Missouri State Highway Patrol confirming that a person jumped from an overpass and has died along that stretch of Interstate 64. This overpass here, let me turn this way. This overpass that you see, this is Timberlake Manor. All westbound traffic being diverted off of the interstate.
You know where that is, right past 141, going westbound. And person, I think it was a man, jumped and died from the overpass. Pretty scary. That was on KMOV reporting, by the way. All right, one more, Ashlyn. Ashlyn's like, God, get me out of here with this guy. I don't want to be here anymore. Is that how you feel? Come on, you could tell the truth. You know what? I kind of rigged this. All the spaces where this stopped was all President Trump, and I wanted to end with him because I like ending with him, and this is from the 9/11 memorial and his speech at the Pentagon.
This morning, we recall the light of America's best and bravest and the love that they showed in their final moments. In their memory, we make a solemn pledge and a noble promise. We will honor always our great heroes. You are our heroes. There's a group of people that don't want to talk about our heroes, but we will always talk about our heroes. And that's the way our country is, and that's the way the people feel. We will defend the nation they served, the values they upheld, and the freedom for which they died. We will support our troops, we will protect our families, and we will preserve the American way of life for every future generation.
All right, that's all the time we have. You have the closing thing for the Wheel of Audio. That's all the time we have for the Wheel of Audio clips. There we go. And this is Vic Porcelli saying, help control the liberal population. Have your liberals spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody. All right, Ashton, fade that out. Now I have to ask you a question, and if you can't, it's fine. The Bella Ciao that you have, you can't play it and then stop it and then resume where you stopped, right?
We can. Maybe.
You sure? No, I don't think you can. All right. So I don't know how to do this. Maybe we don't need the audio at all. So one of the things, the shell casings that this kid used, one of them said, hey, fascist, catch. In other words, catch this bullet. And then another shell casing, and this is according to the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, who he said written on one of those shell casings was Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao. So since we have a couple of minutes, I want to go through the words of the song, because how dare this kid use a song that people who were fighting Mussolini, you see, they call Trump and Charlie Kirk Mussolini. They're the Mussolinis in this whole thing, okay? But back in the 40s, when Mussolini was in power, the partisans, they call them partigiano, would sing this song. And it's a song of liberty. And it's a song of freedom. So the first verse, boy, I got this on my head. The first verse is Una mattina mi sono alzato. That means one morning I woke. I looked out the window. Bella ciao, bella ciao. I don't have to say that every verse, right? Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invasor. That means I found an invader. Okay, and that was verse number one. Verse number two. O partigiano, portami via. That means, oh partisan, carry me away. O partigiano, portami via. Que mi sento di morir. That means I feel like I'm going to die. I feel like I'm going to die. Se io muoio da partigiano. That means if I die, a partisan. Partigiano, portami via. Nope, got that wrong. Hold on. Se io muoio da partigiano, tu mi servi seppellire. That means you must bury me. Seppellire sui montagna. That means bury me up in the mountain. Sotto l'ombra di un bel fior. That means under the shade of a beautiful flower. Sorry, I'm translating this back and forth in my head and still trying to sing with my beautiful singing voice.
It's beautiful.
Let me see. Tutte le genti che passeranno. All the people who pass. Bella ciao, bella ciao. E le genti che passeranno mi diranno che bel fior. That they'll walk by and say, what a beautiful flower. Questo fiore del partigiano. That means this flower of the partisan. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao. E questo fiore del partigiano morto per la libertà. At least I'll die with liberty. Okay. That's the song he quoted on a shell casing. Play a little bit of it for me, would you, before we go? We got to go in like 1 minute. And we can hear this. There we go. Took me a while, but I memorized all these words in Italian. Thank you very much. Una mattina mi sono alzato. Can you turn up a little bit? Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invasor. Oh, partigiano, portami via. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di more. One more verse, okay? We should make it, right? 50 Oh, we not. I'm sorry. Get rid of that. Get rid of Bella Ciao. As much as I love it, play Here Comes the Weekend. Get me the heck out of here. Thank you so much for having the record player on at night. Listen to us this morning. Ashton, serious, thank you so much. Okay. When Ken leaves, I get all shaky and stupid. Okay. So I appreciate you being there. We'll see you Monday.
But it just don't ease the pain. Going on the sick, don't do the trick. Sooner or later I'll be clocking in again. Someday I'll be able to forget my working days. Life will be grim because the ship is coming in. Everything will go my way and I won't have to say, here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. My working week's so tough, I think I've had enough until the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend.
Hi, it's Chris Arps, and I've been a customer of Royal Banks, Missouri for many years. They're a full-service, locally owned and operated community bank with 17 locations throughout the St. Louis area, including locations in Hannibal, Jerseyville, Granite City, as well as 2 locations in St. Charles. Plus, given today's headlines in the overall banking industry, it is reassuring to know Royal Banks, Missouri has the highest financial ratings in St. Louis for stability and strength. Royal Banks, Missouri is reinvesting in its hometown University City. They've now opened the doors to their new location at 8550 Olive Boulevard at